My boyfriend tried to unalive himself, so get ready with me to go to the hospital to visit him. A few days ago, I finished work early, and I thought I'd surprise my boyfriend by getting home earlier because he's always complaining about how I work until very, very late. As soon as I get home, I sense that something is different because it's very, very quiet, and usually when I get home, like, he's watching TV on full blast. But I figured, you know, maybe he's like napping or something. So as I'm walking towards the kitchen, I see that the bedroom door is slightly open. I go in there to check on him, and that's when I see that he's unconscious on the floor. There were some pill bottles on the floor next to him, and I just froze. I didn't know what to do. I don't even remember the 911 phone call. I just remember I kneeled down to him and I just started shaking and crying, like telling him to wake up. The doctor said it was close. He was unconscious for a day and a half. He's now physically stable, but he's still there for psychiatric evaluation. And when I called in yesterday, they told me that he didn't really talk that much, that he was really quiet. After all of this, all I wanted to figure out was why, because how could I not see this coming? I talked to my mom and she told me that maybe he's in debt and you don't know, maybe he's cheating on you and someone blackmailed him. I checked his bank accounts, I checked his phone, I checked his laptop, and nothing. Like, there was nothing there. They said I can visit him today, and I'm really scared because I just don't know how to act. I don't know what to say or what I should say. I don't know if I should ask him about what happened or if I should like pretend that everything's fine and talk about our dogs. To be honest, all I want to do is scream and ask him why. Why would he do this? But I don't want to make things worse, so that's probably not the best attitude. But again, all I keep thinking is, how did I miss this? Like, I've been with this person for 5 years. We live together. We sleep next to each other every night. All I've done these days is think about his behavior lately, and I can't seem to think that anything was weird. Like, there were no changes. Something that also hurt me was the fact that there was no note. There was no intention to say goodbye or anything. So yeah, I mean, we'll see how the conversation goes with him.
Get ready with me to go on a date with my best friend. Gotcha. This is your sign that you do not need to be in a relationship to go on dates. Take your best friend, take your friend, take your cousin. Go with somebody. We've both been wanting to try this new restaurant called Queen's Harbor that opened up downtown, so I hope it's good. Our reservation isn't until 10 o'clock, but we are going to meet up at 9 because we want to take some pictures and just relax before we go to the dinner. Because ladies, you know, once we eat, no pictures are being taken. I've already looked at the menu and know exactly what I'm getting. If there's one thing I recommend from the Sephora sale, it is this House Labs concealer. This is my ride or die, you already know. I don't have to say anything else. I am re-wearing an outfit, no shame in my game. I did not get any pictures that I liked the first time, so we're gonna try again because the outfit is too cute. It's so funny to me because I literally speak to my best friend every single day. There has not been a day in the past, I don't know how many years, where I have not spoken to her, but I will forever look forward to these girls' days because they are needed. I've been desperately looking for a powder blush that's in this exact color, so if you guys know of any, please let me know. Hourglass and House Lab concealer combo will never disappoint me. Just look at the under eyes. Look, I'm gonna carve my eyebrow. I never do this, but I don't know, I just feel like doing it today. One thing about me, I hate going out, but I love dressing up. Don't forget to spray. I think I'm gonna do a really dark eye today. I feel like it'll go perfectly with my dress. I'm also loving this no mascara look, so I don't know what to do. I don't know what I did differently, but I'm loving my makeup today. Days like Of course, everything was going too smoothly. I've also been loving this Panorama mascara by L'Oreal Paris. I feel like it makes my lashes look fake because that's how we want to look. Plastic and fake. I'm gonna do a little brown underliner moment just to make my eyes pop. I've been obsessed with these Huda Beauty lip liners. Okay, makeup is done. We're running out of time, so I'm gonna quickly put on my outfit and I'll show you the final result. But first, let's take a look at the glow. Thank me later. Dress is on. I'm just putting on some Yummy Skin from Danessa Myricks. This stuff is magic. This is my hair and body mist from Ellis Brooklyn, and I've been obsessed with this scent from Miu Miu. It smells so good. I will show you the absolute final result when I get there. I love you guys. Bye.
Okay, I'm doing my skincare whilst I have more boy rant. We're going to get straight into it. So, the reason why you can't get over him is because you're still in contact with him. So, if you're still in contact with him and you can't get over him, why do you think? Same goes with stalking him. Like, if you're stalking his reposts and stuff, you're not going to get over him. But no one can tell me to follow my own advice because I love being heartbroken. It's sick. Next, before getting in a relationship, never memorise the Snapchat name because then you'll just you'll know the Snapchat name first of all. And if you block them, then you could just check in that block list. There's your name. Never block someone if you're doing no contact. You're setting yourself up for failure, honestly, because sooner, say you miss them, block list, there's the name, add them back. No. Honestly, don't memorise the name and then remove them so you can't even add them back. You can't find them nowhere. None of the sort. Unless he adds you back. Honestly, doesn't matter who he is. If I was in the next talking stage and they just added me on Snap one day, I'd add them back. See what they have to say for themselves. It's not like I did any of them ones wrong other than the ones I was trolling like a week ago. Next, nothing hurts and lowers a boy's ego more than seeing a girl not care about him. So, say you were in a talking stage and then he fucked you off, try and boost his ego, and you said, okay. There's the ego scaling straight down. Next, a rich man is equivalent to a pretty girl. Would a broke man pick you if you were ugly? No. So that just proves my whole point. Next, if you broke up and a week later he's with another girl, that just shows you his true intentions with you. He wasn't there for you. Or he's trying to make you jealous, which is straight up embarrassing himself. He's got easy written all over him. It's just embarrassing for him. No self-respect, nothing like that. Why would you want a future husband with no self-respect that's easy to get? Hell no. Imagine going to the club with him one day and then, like, you just turn around and he's necking it on with some girl. Because he's drunk and easy. Fuck off. Also, I used to not want to do this when I was talking to a boy or with them. I never wanted to go through the phone. But then I would let them go through mine. I just don't want to invade the privacy. Or I didn't want to ask them because then they'll start an argument with me. Why are they starting an argument with you for trying to go through the phone? But then they'll say to you, you're the only one, you're the only one. What? Doesn't look like you. Never, always invade a man's privacy. I don't give a fuck. Always invade a guy's phone, Snapchat, anything like that. Next, always trust your gut feeling with a boy. When it comes to a boy, trust your gut feeling, seriously. Honestly, I don't think any boy on this earth is good, to be honest. None. But if you do want to play a boy, study him first. Ask your friends, ask anyone what he's like in a relationship. And always act obsessed to him. Act obsessed, seriously. Because then they'll leave and they'll be like, oh, she was obsessed with me. Just telling all these people that, oh yeah, she was obsessed with me. But in reality, it's funny hurting a man's ego even when you do care about them as well. Because now it looks like you don't. Which, just anything puts a cherry on top to not talk to a boy. Everything, I promise. No boy's looking for marriage. They're looking for a shag and dip. Bye, bitches!
Hey guys, I thought I would come on here and share a little bit of something that I'm going through right now. So I made a video talking about how me and my ex weren't in contact anymore. Well, what do you know? We're back in contact again. We got back in contact after I got hit by a semi because my accident was pretty close to like where he lives, and he showed up. Very grateful for that because that was an extremely traumatic event for me. But we got back in contact and we were wanting to try and work things out with one another, and I was very hopeful and I was very excited because I do want to work things out with him, which you guys might think is fucking crazy, but again, I only tell you snippets of what it is that's happened in our relationship. But he just came over yesterday and told me that he's moving to Texas next week. And that's a lot, and I'm just now starting to process it all, and I'm really sad. I'm really sad about it. I feel really heartbroken about the whole situation, but I think it's going to be good for the two of us, and he seems very hopeful about it. Like, honestly, the reasons why he's moving down there, I think he needs that. He's moving, I don't know if I said this, but he's moving down there with a friend who already lives there. It's his best friend. And I think that's honestly going to be really good for him. And I think it's going to be really good for the two of us because he's kind of making the decision for us and what our relationship is going to be. Because I am so fucking dependent on him that I'm just, like, I don't even care about what it is that he's done or anything. Like, as long as I can keep him in my life, that's all that matters. And that's really toxic. Like, that's so unhealthy. And I don't know if anybody else has, like, gone through that, but I genuinely, like, can't imagine a world without him being a part of it. And I don't necessarily need to be in a relationship with him to feel at ease and, like, comfortable. Like, just having him in my life is really just what I want. And he was still talking about how we can try and work things out while he's down there. He was like, I'll come up and see you, like, you know, for some weekends and holidays and stuff like that. And he's like, I still want you to call me. Like, I'm still going to call you. Like, I still want to be in contact with you. And to me, that sounds really great because that's what I want. But also, I just know that that's not going to work. And it makes me really sad. I'm still trying to figure out, like, how it is that I feel and why it is that I feel this way. I know that we have a really crazy-ass trauma bond, and that's why we keep fucking coming back to one another. But I think that the decision with him moving down there is great. I think it's going to be good, honestly, for the both of us. It's going to force each other to, honestly, separate and grow apart. And I need that, and I honestly needed him to make that decision because, like, unfortunately, I am not strong enough to do that. All you girly pups keep saying I'm so strong. I'm not. I am the weakest bitch out there. I promise. I promise. So I just thought I would come on here and share that it's been a lot, and that I'm very scared to experience life without him being in it. I don't even feel hope. I'm just terrified. But I think I'm gonna be okay. So, I just thought I'd come on here and share that. And if you have anything nasty to say, please don't say it because I'm probably gonna cry about it, so. Yeah. Anyways, thanks for listening to me.
I spent 10 years in prison. I've been out a few years, and the most common question is, why did you go to prison and why the hell so long? And when I tell people burglary, they're like, burglary? Ma'am, like, who did you rob? The president of the United States of America? I was a cat burglar. But let's just get to the story, okay? So I started to kind of have a little mental checklist. There was things that I had on me and things that I would look for in the home to secure that whatever the house that I was going to break into was actually a good location. The first thing I would do is check the weather. I would check the weather for a couple days ahead of time to really get a day that I knew was going to be a good day to hit. If it's bright, beautiful, sunny, I really try to find places that are more isolated, more desolate, where the houses are further apart, because people are outside, they're gardening, they're walking their dogs, they're pushing their babies in strollers, they're exercising, working on the house, they're retired, you know, whatever, like they're looking out windows. But if it's raining, drizzling, sprinkling even a little bit, it's foggy, if it's wet, if it's nasty, that's it. That's the best of the best. Because in that type of weather condition, people are not only not outside, but they also aren't going to chase you. They're not going to come outside just to be nosy because they think something looks weird and get all wet. It's disgusting outside. They're staying in their house. And if they do happen to see you, they're not going to even be sure of what they saw or what the car or the make or whatever, because there's raindrops all over the window. It's not like they have wipers, so they can't really see it. The weather was huge, and the nastier it was, the better off I was. And also I knew that law enforcement doesn't chase you in weather, you know, conditions that are really bad because it's dangerous. Second thing was the time of day. Most people go to work between 7 and 4. Kids usually start getting out of school around 3. People come home, you know, for lunch sometimes around 12. The majority of people, unless you're a stay-at-home mom, they will be gone out of the house by 8 o'clock. They may come back by 11:30. So between 8 and 11, prime time. Take a little break from about 11:30 to about 1:30. 1:30 to 3, second round. Those times right there, pretty sure no one's going to be around. Those were the times that I would target. One of the things I would require is that the home have a security system. There could be a little stick out front that said ADT, because I felt like people that have alarms will likely have something that they want to protect. Around 2006-ish, in Florida, they started a new thing where if your alarm went off, they used to just automatically dispatch police to your home to check it out if nobody answered the phone. But then what started happening was police were wasting a lot of time and energy because there were so many false alarms going off. The cops were coming out there, and what they would do is they would leave, after 3 times, they would leave a little notice on the door saying, hey, the alarm went off. Nothing seemed to be, you know, looking out of place. So we were here at this time. Please, you know, note that you had a false alarm. They'd put a sticker on the door. That was your notice. Once you got 3 of those, it was like a $50 fine. And then once you got 5, it was like a $100 fine, stuff like that. After that, didn't really work. And people were still having an outrageous amount of false alarms. I don't know if it's a law or if it's just like something that they do in Florida. I don't know, but it's a thing. Like it is a rule in place. This is what happens. If your alarm went off in your home, no matter what the situation is, they have to make contact with the homeowners. So they're gonna call your house, they're gonna call your cell phone, they're gonna call your work until you physically tell them, hey, no, I'm not there. I don't know what's going on. Please send somebody, or don't worry about it. Don't send anybody. It's probably my dog. If they don't make contact with you, nobody's coming out there. Now, if they make contact with you, you're at work and you're worried, they'll send somebody out there on your behalf. But until the alarm company makes contact with you, the police are not coming out there. And I knew that. Okay? I knew that once the alarm went off, it would go beep for about 30 to 45 seconds, pretty standard. And then it would start going off, woo, 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 woo. And once it did that, I knew that now they have to call the homeowner. Now the homeowner has to either confirm or deny that they're there. And if they're not there, they're probably going to want to send the police, at which point now the alarm company has to call the police dispatch and get somebody out there. And it's probably going to take them another 5 to 7 minutes. So I got at least a good 10 to 15 minutes, okay? And that for me was all I needed. Now, what I needed to ensure was that there was a window somewhere low enough where I could use tools that I had, because I did go out and buy special glass cutting tools, a little hammer, special gloves, a little thing that sucks the glass once you cut the whole, cut the shape, whatever your shape is. Mine was circle. Once I had all of those tools, I would have to make sure that there was a window somewhere that was low enough to where I could walk, kind of, step over into without getting hurt, and then be able to get back out. Next thing on the checklist was that I absolutely needed to see some evidence of there being an animal in the home. Wealthy people usually have a sign on the door that says, in case of fire, please rescue my cat, please rescue my dog. That way, if something happens and they're not home, the firefighters know that there's animals inside and please rescue them. I knew that if there was an animal inside, that most likely the animal was walking around freely. In my experience as a cat burglar, I can tell you that most people that have money and nice homes and nice things in their homes do not keep their animals locked up. Now, the reason that it was important to have an animal walking around is because then I knew that the motion sensors for the alarm system were likely off. I always wore shoes that were either one size too small or one size too big in case I ever left a footprint. I also made sure to always have my hair very neatly tied back or down. I also made sure to always look very professional, and the key thing was I always wore scrubs. I tried to find houses that either had a back gate that was pretty high, not like a chain link fence, but something that could hide me, had a door that I could open or some way I could climb it. And I prefer that the back gates or fences back up to like a main road, or at least that I'm in a cul-de-sac. I want to make sure there's a way I can get in and out easily, and I don't want to be trapped in the neighborhood. But just to be completely honest, I couldn't always find houses that met that criteria. So if I could just find homes that had a lot of decorative landscaping, bushes, shrubbery, things like that, that could conceal me as well. I was trying to get the big head honchos, okay? The real upper class. The people that I just felt like, and I know this wasn't right, but I justified in my messed up mind at that moment, they could replace what they were, what I was taking. They weren't really in need of it. They had a lot of money. They had homeowners insurance. And I tried to also kind of steer clear of things that looked like heirlooms, but let's be real, I was a thief. So it's not like, I wasn't doing anyone any favors, okay? I was still breaking into people's shit and it wasn't right. But I'm just letting you guys know that this checklist is what ensured that the house was profitable. Disclaimer, I'm not glorifying this. I don't agree with this. I absolutely positively would be ready to rip somebody's head off now if this happened to me. And I absolutely feel an insane amount of remorse and regret for everything I did and everybody I did it to, okay? So let's just get that out of the way, because it's still gonna happen, but I don't need anyone coming in here talking about, oh, you think it's so great, whatever. No, I don't. But I needed to put that disclaimer in here because I don't think it's right. But I'm just telling you guys what my life was like, because maybe it'll help somebody. And I don't know. I don't know if it will, but you don't know until you try. There it is. That wraps up my cat burglar checklist. Hope it helps somebody. Love y'all. See you later.
I watched Megan on the What's the Reality podcast, so you didn't have to, and you're welcome, because the shit was fucking boring. So let's get into it. Of course, they start off with her mommy news, her experience being a mom. It's amazing. Lots of mommy talk, lots of baby daddy talk. She said that she basically met her baby daddy, current baby daddy, Paul Wegman, through a mutual friend. She went to a wellness retreat called the Hoffman Process.
I don't know if you guys have heard of it. So 6 months after this retreat, 4 to 5 months after her and Jordan have ended things, the best friend introduces her to her now man. They hit it off. They got hot and heavy pretty quickly, quite literally. And now they have a beautiful baby boy that they live together. She did end up selling her home in LA, buying a home in Denver. And since baby boy is here, her and Paul live together. Paul is a little bit older. Megan is 35. Paul is 46, which isn't that bad. I feel like that's normal. She says he's the CEO of his own company, which if you look up his name, Paul Wegman, yeah, he got a bag. She says he's very emotionally available, very vulnerable, stuck with her through thick and thin, has been very supportive of her during this whole process. Your typical Midwestern guy. He did watch the show with him, and it was tough for him to watch her commentary about her and Jordan's sex life. Didn't she say that Jordan was like the best sex she's ever had? Awkward. She said that she did break it to Paul about the show once things were getting serious between the two of them. He thought it was going to be something like trashy, more like Love Island or something like that, and that watching it back, he feels like relieved seeing what kind of show it was and getting an accurate representation of Sparkle Megan, like she was her authentic, genuine self on the show, and that Paul is a keeper. He was excited to be at the reunion and had to leave early to go take care of the baby. So AD did ask about this burner account that contacted Jordan. So apparently after the first batch of episodes dropped, a burner account contacted Jordan and basically said that Sparkle Megan had a secret baby with Mike. So she said that after that, she did contact Jordan and tell him that she did have a baby, it was not with Mike, and told him about the baby. So Jordan found out about the baby quite recently. I mean, baby was already here by the time Jordan found out about it. I guess she doesn't know him that. I don't know. What do you guys think? She said that she didn't stay in touch with many people from the cast. She kind of went there for love, for marriage. And when that didn't happen, like basically I didn't come here for no motherfucking friends. Okay. She says she is friends with Casey and Allie. Those are her two closest girlfriends from the show, which concerning, but whatever. And there was a lot of mom talk, of course, you know, oh, she's more selfless now, like her lifestyle has changed now, blah, 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 blah. She says she actually applied to be on the show and her relationship ended. What am I doing wrong? And she applied. I'll tell you one thing, Sparkle Megan keep a motherfucking man, okay? So they did talk about the whole Luca and the diabetes comment with Mike and why she didn't say anything to him, why she didn't correct him. She said that in the moment she was caught off guard, and that she didn't want to reveal to Mike that she was connecting with Jordan because he kept taking little digs at Jordan. And she said she regrets like not correcting him, but she was just confused, taken aback, and didn't want to give him too much energy. That's what she said. She did reveal that Jordan initially blocked her after they broke up. She said that she had reached out and realized that she was blocked. Then she saw him at a cast meetup and it was a little awkward because she was blocked, and he just basically told her, we don't need to be friends. And since then, the first time she has seen Jordan was at the reunion. She did speak very highly of Jordan. She said he's a class act. She said she complimented his suit, you know, against how other motherfuckers was dressed, you know. She says that her and Jordan are in a good, cordial space now. So she said that 9 months to a year after filming, he reached out and unblocked her ass. She basically reiterated why her and Jordan broke up. She said that his demeanor was very different off camera. She said they had 2 days where they didn't film, and she thought, yes, like we're going to get a chance to talk, and that it was just a very quiet experience. Like, of course, she knew their lifestyles were different in the pods, and that she wants somebody that's more like lively, that can bring her out of her shell, because she can be an introvert too. But she did say that Jordan told her in the pause that he's very reserved. So again, not anything you didn't know, but I guess living it and experiencing it is very different than like hearing it. So she just said she felt like they weren't compatible. Their lifestyles were very different, and he was quiet off camera. She did reveal that Luca was cleared to go to the wedding, so she knew that there was no way that she was going to break it off with Jordan at the altar, especially with his son being there. So she broke it off right before the weddings. And when she met Luca, she said that Jordan introduced her as like, this is Megan, this is my future wife, she's going to move in with us, she's going to take our last name. So obviously Jordan was very sure about this marriage happening. She said that she would have approached it a different way and kind of been like, this is my friend, like we're going to get to know her, not like off the bat like we're getting married, we're moving in together, she's going to have our last name. But I think this just is like a testament to like how sure Jordan was about Megan. She said at the time she was very sure about him too. thought that they were in game, and that's kind of why Jordan took that approach. I wouldn't have took that approach, and she says that as like a new mom, she probably wouldn't take that approach either. He said the most interesting thing to see at the reunion was that there was still tension between the couples, but she was just happy to like wrap it up, put a bow on it, move on from it. She did talk about the 2 dates that she went on with Mike. She said they caught up. She said that he was hot to trot. Like, he was hot to trot. He was like anxious to meet up. She was more reluctant to meet up, and there was still a curiosity there for her, but that there was no chemistry. She thinks that she was just trying to move on from Jordan. She said there was a lot of mixing and mingling from all of the pod squad, like everybody dating each other, and she wanted to remove herself from it. It seems like Sparkle ain't get no fuck with nobody from the cast. She wants to remove herself from this Love is Blind shit. She like, I got bigger and better shit to fry, bigger and richer fish to fry, bitch. I'm not mingling around with these Denver people. I don't know. That was just my motherfucking take on it. I do find it interesting that she went on 2 dates with Mike, because Mike is in a very serious relationship with a girl named Gabby, and Gabby has been around for a while. Gabby was around before he went on the show. Maybe, I think they're doing the whole not official, now they official after the fact. So I wonder how Gabby feels about those meetups and all that. She said that she met Blake for a drink. It was more of an apology for the ghosting, not really to like get to know each other. The most surprising thing at the reunion was Casey, because obviously Casey is her girl. She said she was getting a lot of heat. She felt really bad for her, that she was an easy target, and that she was intertwined in everyone's story. But she was surprised to see that there were so much tension still between some of the couples. She feels like her story was accurately represented. But watching it back, it was very clear that their life was different. And then, of course, she goes into more mom stuff. Mommy advice is to get a night nanny. Not everybody can afford a night nanny. Megan, them motherfuckers are expensive, okay? Anywho, that was basically the interview. Lots of mom talk, lots of mommy advice. As we all know, AD is a mom-to-be. She is expecting her first baby any day now. But yeah, that's the recap.
My boyfriend refused to marry me because I'm an immigrant?
Well, that doesn't sound very good.
My boyfriend doesn't want to marry me because I'm an immigrant. I, 29 female, moved to the US 7 years ago as a grad school student from Indonesia. I met my boyfriend, 30 male, a few months after I moved, and we've been together ever since. My boyfriend is a US citizen. After I graduated, we had a serious discussion about where our relationship was headed. I made it very clear that I wanted to eventually get married and have children. My boyfriend echoed the sentiments. I remember asking him if he saw that happening with me because I didn't want to be in a relationship with no future. He told me he loved me and that we were definitely headed in that direction. As of last week, we've been dating for 7 years. We've occasionally talked about marriage, but we were both busy with our respective careers, so the timing didn't seem quite right. However, recently my company announced that there's a chance that my department's work will be outsourced. I'm on an H-1B visa, temporary worker, so this means that I need to start looking for a job ASAP if I want to continue staying in the US. Last week, during our anniversary, I brought this up. I asked him if he thought it was the right time to think about getting married, as that will also help with sorting out my visa issues. He looked like he was about to vomit. After much prodding, he confessed that he wasn't planning on us getting married before I was able to get a green card, permanent resident in the US. I was incredibly confused because he'd never mentioned this before. His reason was that he didn't want to be used as a visa mule. His words, not mine, by me. And that he wanted to make sure that I married him because I loved him and not because it was a ticket for getting to stay in the US, which can only happen when I get a green card. It took me a while to process what he said. I asked him if he'd be okay to move to Indonesia with me, which he wasn't. I did not react well and ended up leaving because I couldn't deal with what just happened. I am still in disbelief. I started dating him because he was the kindest, most thoughtful, and generous man I've ever met. I now feel like I wasted 7 years. While the visa issues are certainly a problem, I did not date him with the intention of making him my safety net. I cannot believe that even after nearly a decade together, he doesn't know what kind of person I am. I feel like this relationship is possibly over and it hurts so much. And there is an update. A few days back, I made a post about how my boyfriend of 7 years didn't want to marry me because I was an immigrant on an H-1B, and he didn't want to be a visa mule. I got a lot of wonderful comments and DMs. And because the thread got locked, the post was subsequently removed. I wasn't able to respond. Addressing some of the stuff in the comments. I've been on an H-1B visa for a bit more than 2 years. I was on STEM OPT for about 3 years after grad school. I had terrible luck with the H-1B lottery, and I got one in the last round I was eligible to apply in. Getting PR in the US is not easy. I know people who have been here for 15 plus years who are still waiting for their PR. For those of you who DM'd me calling me a gold digger, you guys made me LOL. I am aware of the legalities around sponsoring a spouse for a PR, including the financial aspect. It shouldn't have been a problem for the following reasons. I'm a STEM major who recently shifted into management. I work for a large company and I do quite well for myself. My boyfriend is a teacher and our incomes are not comparable. He earns around $60K. I earn close to $300K. We've been living together for 6 years. We have a shared account to pay for expenses like rent and utilities that we both deposit a percentage of our salary into. The rest of our money goes into our own private accounts and we don't manage each other's money. Because I'm pretty frugal, I've saved up quite a bit of money in the form of savings and investments. If my boyfriend was worried about the legality of sponsoring me financially for 10 plus years, I would have happily discussed moving the money around. I was even considering buying a house so we could have made that a joint ownership thing. The point is, we could have figured it out. I haven't relied on him financially ever, and I didn't intend on doing that in the future. I might not have considered everything, but you have to know that I thought about the marriage for visa thing very recently. Only when the threat of possibly having to leave loomed over me. This isn't something I thought about in detail at all. Regarding my situation back home in Indonesia, I come from a very religious and conservative family and had a horrible childhood. My family doesn't support my career choices. I cut contact with my family when I moved to the US, so they are not in the picture at all. I was on great terms with boyfriend's family. They loved me. Now for the actual update. He is now my ex-boyfriend. I took a few days to collect myself and then reached out to him wanting to talk. He agreed. It turns out that he has been insecure about earning less than I did for a while. Apparently, his friends have been poking fun at our relationship, calling me the sugar mommy because I take care of most of the expenses. He never told me this until now. He apparently didn't feel like an equal because our pay differs so much and started feeling that I was only with him as a quick way to get a PR here. I was speechless. I couldn't believe that his friends gaslit him into doubting our relationship. I reminded him how he had supported me when I was in grad school, like getting me groceries when I had little money to spare, allowing me to stay with him rent-free in my last year of grad school to help me minimize expenses so I didn't have to take out a loan, letting me use his car when I was attending interviews. I told him that he did them because he loved me, and me taking on the majority of household expenses since I started working is my way of paying him back for all the things he did for me back then. He said that he gets what I'm saying, but also that he didn't expect me to start earning more than him straight off the bat. I asked him if there was any chance he'd consider going to couples therapy, like some of you had suggested, and he declined because he didn't think he was being unreasonable. He said that he wanted to be the provider in a relationship and that he didn't feel like one in ours. So there's no going back from this unless I quit my job and found another that paid substantially less, which isn't going to happen. Well, long story short, we broke up. His family is in disbelief. They were hoping that he would propose soon. I moved into an Airbnb for now. A little bit of good news to end this update with. My company offered me a similar role in a different department. However, this is based out of France and there's a small decrease in pay. I've always dreamed about living in Europe and I've accepted this offer. I've signed the relocation agreement and I'll move there in the next 8 to 12 weeks. A few comments. People took apart my update to point out a discrepancy. I first said I haven't relied on him financially ever, and later I reminded him how he supported me when I was in grad school. Blah, blah, blah about that. I'm sorry for wording my feelings poorly, causing this confusion. I never asked or expected my ex to help me buy groceries or house me. I moved to the US to pursue a tech MBA from a top 20 school and had scholarships and student loans that were going to help me cover the cost tuition plus living expenses. So at no point did I need him to help me. I knew I was going to have a financially difficult time for 2 years, and I was prepared for this. My ex, however, did not like that I was eating cold sandwiches and instant ramen most of the time and would bring me some groceries, vegetables, frozen food, and the like, because he wanted to make sure I was eating well. He was also the one who proposed the idea of me moving in with him because he wanted us to live together and also thought it would lower my stress levels. He was an extremely kind, considerate, and generous man, and it was one of the reasons I fell in love with him. I am extremely grateful for his support, but I wasn't relying on it. Had he not done any of the above, I would have managed. And there is a second update.
All right. Wow.
I'm back with an update after about a year of moving to France. My previous posts are on my profile. I absolutely love it here. The language barrier is very real, but I'm taking classes, and the people around me have been incredibly helpful.
Good.
I've spent the last year experiencing all the good things Europe offers. I've visited multiple cities in France, Netherlands, Belgium, Spain, Portugal, Switzerland, Denmark, Germany, and Luxembourg. I cannot believe how gorgeous all of these places are, and the more time I spend here, the more I think about how fortunate I am to be able to experience this. I'm soon traveling to Italy, and I'm excited about everything. My work-life balance is also incredible. I was frequently putting in 10 to 12-hour work days in the US, and I can count on one hand the number of times I've had to work more than 8 hours a day here. I haven't had the courage to get back into dating yet. My experience with the ex has left a really bad taste in my mouth. Even though immigration here is a lot easier than the US and is not really one of my worries, the thought of things falling apart after putting in a significant amount of time and effort scares me. I'm considering therapy, but I haven't quite made the leap to do that yet. My ex reached out to me a few months after I moved. He faced a lot of backlash from his family after we broke up, and he wanted to discuss reconciliation because he realized the error of his ways. I told him exactly how he made me feel and that I could no longer trust him. I decided to move on and advised him to do the same.
Nice.
He's had to downgrade his lifestyle as he can no longer afford to live the same way we did. And I could tell him that it made him unhappy. Not gonna lie, I did feel a pang of guilt and sadness after our conversation. But it is what it is. I got a bunch of DMs asking me what I do. I have an undergrad in comp sci, and after a year of working, I decided to pursue an MBA. I was fortunate enough to get into one of the top 20 B schools with a scholarship that reduced my tuition by about 30%. I got into tech consulting initially and then switched to product management after a couple of years. And there is a third update. It's been 3 years. I now live in the Netherlands. Switched over to another company last year. It's cold and wet most of the year, but this summer was glorious and at times hot enough to remind me of home. I went through therapy for a few months. I must admit that I was not fully committed to it, but talking/venting helps a lot. That and distance and time has definitely helped me heal. It's a bit hard making friends in the Netherlands. Most people seem to want to stick to their existing social circles. I have made a few friends through the expat community, but these friendships need more time and effort to become something worthwhile. I'm trying to date now, signed up on a bunch of apps, haven't really had a lot of success so far, but I keep putting myself out there. I still miss my ex sometimes, especially on days when I'm unwell. Because it reminds me of how he used to take care of me and make me congee. I miss being cared for. And no, I haven't reached out. That chapter is truly done. I got a cat!
Nice.
She's a very loud girl. I'll add a photo on my profile. Life is kind of good, I guess. I need more friends. And there are some comments to finish off. Comment 1 says, the funniest thing about all of this is that I'm 90% certain that all his friends who were laughing about him having a sugar mommy and being a visa mule are now shaking their heads at him saying, I can't believe you let that absolute catch of a woman go. Reply, notes for any straight men reading. If your homeboys ever tease you for your partner earning more than you, do not do what this guy did. Call those fools jealous and have her buy you more things to rub it in and worship the ground she walks on. If I had a partner making $300K, I'd be waiting on them hand and foot. Reply, the amount of men who whiff their love partners earning high salaries is astounding to me. If my partner was earning that much, I'd be showing them off and basking in the upgraded lifestyle. Reply, 100%. I saw a post the other day about how the story of Eve being born from Adam's rib is part of the history of robbing women of anything that puts them above men. Women belong in the kitchen, but only men can be chefs. Women should be school teachers, but have no place as professors or academics. Women should run the home, but the man is the owner, and his word is law. Anything to make women small. Comment 2 says, honestly, this is probably the most realistic outcome of everything. Opie still misses her boyfriend sometimes, who she dated for almost 7 years, and has struggles fitting in with the new culture. I do hope she's able to find a friend group. I've heard from friends that it is really hard to do that in the Netherlands. Maybe there are hobby groups or clubs. Also, the grin on my face when I think about him having to downgrade his lifestyle. I bet he misses being a kept man now. And that is the end of that story.
Join the live and comment LeBron James.
My first day in prison was like a bad movie that I will never forget. And so I thought I should talk about what it looked like, because I've talked about everything else, so why the hell not? So let's get into it. So if you don't know, I went to prison for 2 years a while back, and I had my fair share of experiences, but definitely one of the biggest standout experiences is the first day, because when you're pulling up to a prison, you're like, what the I've only ever seen like Orange is the New Black or like 60 Days In. I've just heard about prison. I don't know what it's like. I'm freaking out. Are they gonna shank me? Like, are they gonna beat me up? Am I gonna drop the soap? Like, yeah, like those are all real thoughts, because I'm like, I do not know what I'm getting myself into. So basically, like when I first pulled up, I was in a sheriff's car because I came from a smaller county, and they like did the whole, had to check the officer's car, they had to check him. I was like dying internally when we pulled up, because I'm like, bro, I'm really at prison, like there's no going back, like I'm sentenced, like I gotta do time for real, like cut and dry. So then we pull in and I go into the, like, it's almost like a booking area, like admissions area, and literally he's like, all right, deuces, good luck, you'll get out when you get out, and dip. So they dress you out into a massive like Big Mama Moo, like blue. I'll put my picture. Oh, I don't have that picture anymore, but it's like a giant moo. It was like a size 3X. It was literally swallowing me. We give them our state or our county clothes, and then we go to a back room. We give them whatever property we have that they can give us, and then we go with them. And we sit in a room and we wait to see the psychiatrist, the doctor, like to get our vitals, we have to fill out this long like form that has like our identifiers, so like our hair color, our eye color, our weight, our height. We have to write down every single tattoo, and like I have 14 tattoos. They're all small, but I had to go in detail, put where they're at, what they're on, like what they are, like what if it, like for this I would have to say, oh, I have a sun and a moon on the left wrist, on my left wrist, and then like for my back I would have to, and they do all that. And then like they ask you if you're in a gang, you fill all this paperwork out, and then you move to, they'll like call you one by one to do like your medical intake, where they ask you all your medical history and like bada bada boom, all that fun stuff. Then they take you to the psych, and if I'm sure it would take like longer if you had like some mental health issues, but that was really fast. They really don't care too much. Like, yeah, normally like you're coming from county, so if you're already like, if you have health issues, it's gonna be like in your file, you're gonna come with medication. So then you sit and you wait and you wait and you wait and you wait. Like, it's the longest process ever. You're around all these other girls. I was around like 15 other girls from all over Ohio, like sitting there. We're all coming to prison. You got the girls that are like, oh yeah, this is my third number. Yeah, I'm big dog around here. I'm finna get in. You're finna be great. Then you got the girls that are like me, that are in the corner like, I do not want to become somebody's bitch. No, but for real. And so then they give you like a turkey sandwich and like these disgusting like cardboard cookies. That's all you get to eat all day. Then they call you one by one, and they give you your state clothes. So we wore like these like cardboard material shirts that had like a green or they had a blue collar. So when you're in admissions, because we were in admissions for like 30 days, this was just the first day, you have to have a blue collar, and then it moves to either green or pink when you pop out of general admission based off of where you get classified to. So then, girl, they gave me these pants that were like so short on me. You had to get these things called extensions when you pop out if you're like over 5'4", to make them longer. Baby, I was ready for the flood in these like terrible Velcro like old lady walking shoes that like for people in like wheelchairs that have no support. They're so ugly.
and they give you like a bra and they give you underwear, and that's what you get. They give you like a mini hygiene bag that some people I think they donate them, which it's not like off like just terrible stuff, but it's all right. It's like VO5 and stuff. And then they give you a look and you line up, and you don't know where you're going. You don't know any of these people. You got people barking orders at you. You're now a number. They give you a number. They take your picture. Oh yeah, I forgot. Like very, very, very first thing they do after you dress out is put you in this massive body scanner that literally looks at like your entire body, obviously, like metal detector, X-ray type thing. Yeah, and then they're like, all right, this is your bunk number. Good luck. Keep it pushing. And I'm like, all I could think about was like, I just want to get on the phone so I can like call my people, because they woke me up at 4 a.m. from the county and were like, girl, you're going to prison. And I'm like, let's go. So no one knew. I hadn't talked to anyone all day. So yeah, finally we got there. We got our bunk. You put like all your stuff in this like lock box, and that's what your lock is for. You ever heard the term like put a lock in a sock? And yeah, I never actually saw that happen, but yeah, so basically like my head was busting by the end of it because I already get like really bad migraines, and I was so overstimulated and so like exhausted and like I just wanted to take a shower. So I took a shower and someone gave me a book and I laid down. My bunkie was like pretty cool. She was sweet. She was in there for like shoplifting, but like, you know how sometimes people will like shoplift a few times and they'll turn it into like burglar or something of the sort, or like Rico, you know, if you know, you know. But yeah, girl, I called my mom, I called my man, and I was like, I'm in prison. I was crying on the phone. I was like, I can't believe I'm here. I was so scared. It wasn't anything like in the movies. It ended up being, I mean, it wasn't good, but it was not like people getting beat down every day like men's prison or like the movies. But yeah, so then I just went through, we did like down the road, we did like a dental exam and like pap smear with a gyno and like all that fun stuff. Draw your blood the next day. It's a really, really intense, like classifications is a long process. You got to go through all these like big, like not seminars, but like meetings with the warden and all that. You get introduced to all that. And there's just constantly people coming in and every day. Like I was probably in there, had to be in there with like 200 women like constantly. And that's like with the 30 women that are popping out every day and 30, 40 more coming in the next day. So prisons are overcrowded. Prisons are overcrowded. But that was my first day in prison. It was just a vibe. No, it was fucking terrible. But yeah, thanks for watching.
I'm having the best week of my life. Yesterday, I had the least productive day of my life, and honestly, I would say that it was excellent. I'm blaming my Sunday because Sunday I was out extremely late for no reason. I had a male friend's birthday in the day because I'm cutesy. I planned it. I was like, oh, like, let's go day drink somewhere. Yeah, this is empty. We get it. Like, let's go day drink somewhere, invite all your friends, I come be beautiful, fall in love, and like that low-key happened. I was at the bar from 3 o'clock to 7:30. I mean, does that feel like a long time? 4.5 hours on a Sunday? Get help. While I was hanging at the bar, I met one of his friends that he was like, oh my God, you're gonna love him. And I did. He was like fun. He was banter and he was really sweet. And I feel like I'm finally at that age. I mean, I literally need therapy, but my lobe is folding and forming in that I'm like, yeah, nice guy. I want a man that is yearning and will literally rip out his left heart valve in order to speak to me. I just met him that day, and honestly, like, I wish that I was able to stay at the bar more, because when I left, it kind of just lost the momentum because you're day drinking, okay? Everyone's feeling sluggish. I run to a show and I was like, oh, I'll meet you guys after, which is just like an empty promise. And they end up going to Taco Bell. I have another show. I make them meet me at my next show. We all link up again around like 11 p.m. And at this point, I literally have an eye rolling to the back of my head and my tits deflated. When we all meet up at the later bar, I mean, no one is okay. Then I was like, I want to go home. Like, I'm not able to even put my best foot forward right now. So whatever, we all went home. We exchanged numbers, all is well. And then I wake up Monday, and when I tell you that I did diddly squat, I did diddly squat. I woke up late because I literally can, and I didn't even go to Pilates in the morning. That's when you know my day's over. Because then sometimes I'm like, oh, I'll just go later. And then later comes, and I'm like, chill. After that, I just like did work. And when I'm saying I'm doing work, I'm like editing stand-up clips, editing videos, doing ads. I'm writing. I'm trying to film a bunch of sketches this week because next week I'm going to Japan. I'm going to Japan. Talk to me nice. Has anyone been? I'm excited. I've never been. I'm going to Kyoto. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. I'm adding a Latina accent on it, but like, fuck it. And it's a brand trip. Okay, me doing the damn thing. It's with Apothecary, which is like a wellness brand. So we're like gonna go to Japan and like do crazy stuff. We're gonna like forest bathe and meditate. I'm literally gonna come back and be like, I'm gay. I'm just gonna be so healed and be like, wait, men actually suck. Let me suck on someone's kuka. Just kidding. I don't know if I can ever do that. No hate though, just like, I don't know if I'm like into... Low-key forgot that I was going to Japan, but like, fuck it. Japan on a Monday, I'll screw your dad. So excited for that. But then I kind of forgot too that it's also Halloween. I haven't watched a single scary movie. I didn't even watch Hocus Pocus once. Like, am I okay? And I barely eat anything pumpkin. I cut a squash last night, and that I think is the closest I'll get to pumpkin carving this year. And then today I woke up, went to Pilates because I don't really trust myself ever again. And then I did some work, and now I'm gonna go film for my YouTube because you guys are obsessed. You better be. Low-key, like, I need to see this guy before I leave. Otherwise, I might forget what he looks like. Like, I won't, but, you know, like, it's a long plane ride. Like, I need some delusions. Like, I need to be like, oh, my God. You know, like, I need to, like, be on the plane, like, thinking about memories. And, like, I can't really just, like, you know, have fantasies off our text right now. I need to stop smoking weed. Last night, I decided to have some of my girlfriends over for a little spooky wine night, okay? Did we do anything spooky or wine night related? No. Did we just drink and eat more cheese than the dairy farm? Yes, we did. I feel like every wine night, it comes to that point in the night where someone's like, a little smoke. You know, you want to smoke something, be it a joint, a cigarette, a crack pipe. You just need a little fumar. I'm guilty to this, I will admit. Someone came out with a little wax pen. And what happens when you see wax pen? Because for me, it typically starts and ends with... I used to smoke a lot, but not as much anymore. Because now when I smoke, I just get paranoid. My own hair can touch me and I'll be like, rapist! Obviously, when I hit the weed stick, the cheese starts to taste a little better. Okay, the cookies that were in the oven sound like they need to come out a little faster. That's kind of where my mindset was. It's kind of just a big back night, like little cheese board. Then we made pasta with spicy sausage, which was amazing. But we didn't even add all the sausage into the pasta because, like, I don't know, someone was doing proportions, not me. And then my fat ass on the side was slipping into the kitchen to eat a spicy pasta with my bare knuckles. That's scary. And obviously having an ice cream cookie sandwich that literally slapped my back walls inside out. It was, I mean, I haven't really had a cookie supreme like that, and like, damn, I missed that. Then to make matters worse, in the middle of the party, I was sent a Zucker's box, like their PR team like sent me Zucker's bagels, which is fucking amazing. Inside was every type of cream cheese you'd ever want, a bunch of bagels frozen that I had to like warm up, and then salmon. I was like, oh my God. You know, you're in a big back state of mind when you start plotting and planning, okay? I was going to sleep last night, literally kicking my feet to the thought of scallion cream cheese being rubbed on my cuticle. Obviously, I ate one this morning. Last night, me and my sister watched Practical Magic, which I've never seen before, and it ate down. I was really happy with it. Obviously, literally sucking, licking, spitting, and consuming the pen. I don't know how today I didn't wake up with the claps lung. Went to bed around 1, which isn't horrible because I've done worse things in my life. But the way that you sleep when you're high as a kite is a different slumber. First, I woke up at like 8 a.m. because my sister has an alarm that was going off and she's having the best dream of her life because I gotta get my ass up and turn it off. Since I woke up that early, I kind of was like, I deserve more sleep, obviously. But then I woke up at like 10 and then I said, wait, that's not enough. Clocked back out again. Woke up around 11. But honestly, right now it is so like dark and like rainy. You can't even see it, but it's blue, which means get back to bed. And so how do you wake up? And my kitten sleeping next to me. It's literally raining, snowing, and Hurricane Katrina. Stay in bed for your safety. I got out of bed around noon. I mean, if anyone asks me, I will deny, but like, what the hell? Woke up, ate the Zuckers. And when I mean I ate the Zuckers, I thought I burnt the bagel. So then I was just like ripping it apart and scooping it into the scallion. And like, honestly, I don't buy cream cheese because I kind of know myself and my body. And this is going to be an issue.